Well, howdy everybody. Today I'm going to be playing through Cascadia with the Landmarks expansion. Adds some pretty cool stuff. Adds new tiles and new starting tiles and objective cards, which I think are really good. And it adds this element called Landmarks, which I'll explain in just a second. I'll do a playthrough, and at the end I'll give you some more thoughts on the expansion. Okay, so what's new in the expansion is we got, like I said, these new tiles. We got a bunch more of these, and we have new objective cards. But the bread and butter is these landmark objective cards. So the way this works is you have once you place your tiles and you have 5 or more in a type of land, so a corridor is what they call it. When you have 5 or more, then you can choose, with the tile that you just placed, you can choose to place the matching type of landmarks. So this would be forest, grasslands, wetlands, mountains, water, that type of thing. So you can choose to, say for example, I put this here, and there was 5, then I could choose to take the landmark piece and put it there, and then I can choose either one of these cards. So I'll give you a close-up of these, but you have, for this one, it's score for each forest corridor of size 2 or greater. So, you could have multiple 2 forest corridors happening and score 2 points for each of them. So it can really add up, and it just gives you a bit more complexity to the game, which I find is nice. It's complexity without being too complicated, and gives you a lot more to kind of think about, and definitely makes it a bit crunchier. So how this begins with your setup is it's pretty much exactly the same, except you add in one of the keystone pieces, and they say to just take it from the piles. So this is the solo setup. You just have, 40 here, and then you're supposed to have 3, so like 43 altogether, and then I just added 1 from one of the piles. So these are our current objectives. Pairs of bears, 1 has to be on a forest. We have the lines of elk. This one is from the expansion as well. This is foxes next to only 2 species, and other foxes are included. So if I have 1 fox and there's elk and salmon, then that's all I can have near that, and that will score for 4. This one, line of sight between falcons, and then a run of salmon. So this basically begins the exact same way. You have your starting tile, and then with the landmarks, you get an additional keystone tile that you just get from out of the pile, and then you can just place it wherever you want. That seems like a good enough place as any. And yeah, we'll get started. So I think I'm gonna start with this one here. Place that there, and then here, so then I can get a keystone right away, so that way if I need that to use, I can. The keystones, if you don't remember, or what are these landmark pieces, you can use them to then take a piece not matching with the one in front of it, if that makes sense. That's poor explanation. And then solo mode, you just take the furthest ones on the right, and you just remove them, and you slide these down, and then you just refill with 2 tiles and 2 of these. All right, lots of elk. So I think let's go ahead and go with this bear here, because then we can maybe start building out some bears. We also have this elk, and we can put this elk here and get another landmarks? They're keystone landmark pieces. I forget. So I think I'm gonna take this one because there's forest and a bear, and we need the bears, remember, to be on a forest piece. So I'm gonna put this here because we want to kind of be building out this corridor, and then another one of these, which is kind of quite a lot in the beginning, so that's a little funny. And as you can see, I'm just 1 away on mountains to be able to put a keystone, or to be able to put landmarks down, and then I would be able to choose one of these 2 objective cards. think I'm gonna go with this one here because more elk. And then I need to put the bear here, and so I don't want to put a bear there, so I'll just put this elk here, and then I'll take this one, and I'm gonna put this here, and that gives us the option to put another elk there, or to put start another pair of bears over there. I think I'm gonna go with this one here because again, it's a bit of a hard choice. I think I'm gonna go with this one because it is yet another elk, but then we have the bear for our pair over here, so that's done. Okay, so we kind of want to, get scoring on some of the rest of these. We could do this, and then we get our elk, and then start building out salmon. We could do this and just put the salmon straight on it, and then we would get the 5th mountain piece. We didn't want to do this because I don't really want to block this line that I've built for the elk. I think let's go with this. So I'm going to put this elk, I guess I'll put this elk here, and take another one of those. And I'll put that piece there. Okay, so I'm going to take this piece also to just kind of show you how these landmarks work. So you take the piece, and then you are going to put it wherever you want it. And now, so I have the 5, so I can take one of these, and how it works is you have to place the landmark that you get on the tile that you just placed. So I would have to place it here. So if I had hoped to put this animal tile there, then I wouldn't be able to do that. But you can still keep the animal tile. You put it wherever you can fit it, or if you can't, you can also just put it back in the bag. You don't have to keep it. So I'm going to put that there. And then for the objectives here, we have score for each elk on a mountain, or score for each pair of occupied mountain keystone tiles. So I think I'm going to go for this one because we don't have a lot of elk on the mountains. And then this will give us 3 points per occupied mountain space. We're starting to get all the salmon coming in. Well, I think in the theme of that, I'll just go ahead and, take one of these, put the salmon down, and then I'm going to put this, I guess I'll put this here. And then we do have the option to put 2 bears there if we want. Yeah, you'll see. I've yet to do any of the falcons, get any of those going. Oh, just more salmon. I believe when it's 3 like this, I believe you're allowed to remove them. You can always spin one of these to clear the row, but I think if there's 3 or more, you can just choose to clear it. I might be wrong. It was kind of like different too, is, I might want to put the bear here and break up this line, because then I could start building just a separate line and that would score separately. But if I had 2 3s, that's 18 points. So sometimes it's better to have just smaller groups of them rather than one big one. Depends. I think I'm just going to keep going for the salmon because, because they are just abundantly provided. So we'll just keep going with that for now. And this one will be removed. I think I'm going to go here for the elk first because I know it's going to get eliminated. I really want to get this bear, but I know it's not going to get eliminated. And if I took that, then this would be eliminated. So I'm going to take this one. I think I'll just... Ooh, hard to decide because you want it to be in line of sight, right? But this needs to be in a straight line. So I don't know. We're probably just going to put an elk on it anyway, so who cares? I'm going to put the elk there and then discard these. So far, our little fox over here doesn't seem to be doing much, but it is right now worth 4 points because there's nothing around it. So I think I'm going to take this one and then... I will put this, wow, I'll put this bear here, and then try and think about where I could put this so that it is only going to touch 2 different species. And now, since I have that there, this is 5 corridor on the forest. So I could take one of these with this landmark. So this one is for each forest corridors of size 2 or greater. And then this one is combined 2 largest forest corridors when scoring. I think I'm going to hold off for now because I do kind of like the thought of just getting a fox there, and that would be covered up with the landmark. So I'm just gonna wait on that. Okay, I think I'm just gonna go for this one here, because then I can put the bear out. And then I got 2 pairs, which is nice. All right, ooh, we want a couple things here. We want this fox for that, and we also want this elk, because then we would get the line of 5, which would be 13 points, which would be excellent. Ooh, if we put, this would be kind of cool. If we put this here, then this is going to connect the entire forest corridor. So we don't even need that card. Will connect this entire forest corridor, and it would still only be next to just 1 species with a fox there, and we get this elk, so that's pretty awesome. So I think I'm going to finally use one of these, and I'm going to take this fox piece with this salmon one, because we really just need more salmon spots in order to be able to score for that. So that, and then I get it right back because I placed it on a keystone piece. And when you do that, I just slide down everything so that it lines up underneath the next one, and then just remove the ones on the farthest right. This piece is interesting because it just goes right with it. I always love that. We don't really need elk as much anymore, so I think I'll just go for that, see how it goes. Problem is we don't have any great spots for this. I guess we could go here, and then if we get another bird there, then they'll have a line of sight. And we get one of these. And we're hoping for salmon and foxes. We got a salmon, so that's nice. Kind of wish we could take this salmon piece, but we don't have anywhere that we can connect it that would make it into a run, because if we put it here, it would be touching these 2 pieces, so it wouldn't count. So we definitely want to take just the salmon piece. We don't have anywhere actually that we could put this bear piece that would work, because we could only connect it to the water here, and that's next to this pair. So I guess maybe what we'll do is pay another one of these, and we're going to take this piece, and I guess we'll just connect it here, because then we have more forest connecting, or I guess maybe that's not connecting. So maybe we'll put it over here. Because if we do get a bear on there too, remember we have this one, which is per 2 on the mountain. So that would score. And then we have a fish there, or a salmon. So now we're kind of hoping for maybe some bears, maybe another falcon, a fox maybe. So this might be good. We can use this here, or we could even do this one and put, now that we have water that we can connect to over here. Choices. I guess we're just gonna go with this one. And we'll start with that there. Get one of these, and then toss this. It's really, you know, down to the wire. Okay, so I think, because this might be nice because we can get that 5th salmon here, and then we'd get 15 points, but we're already at 12, so it's not like that great. we could do this one and get the bear that we need. Oh, and then we could connect it for the salmon. We just would miss out on that, so maybe we'll do that. So hopefully we can get another salmon. Put this here. And this is cool because it's still just connected to two different species. So this one goes. So I think I'll spin one of these again, and I'm gonna take this fox and this piece here, because if I put this all the way over here, if we do eventually get 2 falcons, which, you know, big chance of that, but if we do, then we can put that there. And then I'll put this fox here, which gives me one of those. Okay. Wow, those are exactly what we want. So, I guess first we would maybe do the salmon. Put that there. And I think I was maybe a tile short, or I had 1 tile too many. Don't really know. So I just grabbed another one out of the box. And we got these here. So I think we definitely want the falcon. And we'll put that here so we can get 1 of these. And then I guess we'll just put the forest tile here just so we have more. Doesn't really matter, I don't think, but yeah. So then you have these 3 that are just left. Okay, so for scoring, we will score these bears first. So pairs of bears next to no other bears. It's like a tongue twister down here. And they all have to be on a forest. So we have 3 of those. That's 20 points, which is awesome. So then we want to score for the elk, and we have a run of 4. Oh, we have a run of 5. We didn't need to do that. We can only score up to 4, so shame. And then we have for the salmon, we did get all of those. We got 5 of those, so 15 for that. Then we have 1 line of sight, which is 4 points. And then the foxes, we actually did really well on the foxes. I played this by myself with this objective before, and I did terrible because all 3 of them are that way. So we get 12 points for that. All 3 of them have just 2 species next to them. And then we're going to skip down and do the mountains. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in our biggest area. The forest, we just did amazing. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then in solo mode, if you don't remember, if you have a corridor of 7 or more, you get an additional 2 points. And then the plains, we just have 3 and 3, so 3. This one, we got, what was this, wetlands, got 4. And then rivers, just 3. You get 1 point for each of these that you have left over. So we're going to get 6 points for those. And then we will score our landmarks objective. So 3 points per pair on the mountains. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 3 points for that. Or sorry, 9 points for that. I'm gonna add this up and be right back. Yeah, I'm definitely not brave enough to do math on camera. But we got 107 points, which the highest I've gotten recently is 102. So beating my best. Yeah, we did really good on the objectives here. So yeah, that's the playthrough. I'll give you a little bit of a review. Not too much to say, but yeah. So, I mean, as everyone knows, Cascadia is just an amazing game. And the Landmarks expansion, I feel like, does exactly what you want an expansion to do, where it adds in just more to the game as it is. It doesn't change the game. That said, I do find that the Landmarks feel like they're not quite worth it a lot of the times. Like, I feel like I don't want to clog up that space with a landmark. I'd rather keep that for the scoring objectives, because that's part of the balance that you have to keep in mind, is that's going to block a space where you could put an animal, and it's not going to count. Be able to use that for scoring or whatever. So yeah, I find that the landmarks aren't just something I jump and I want to add to the game, but I really like the new objective cards. When I first started playing the expansion, I was like, oh, I'm going to use all the new ones, and it was quite difficult because I think they're just a little bit more challenging. So it's like, you have a shape that you got to get, but it has to be on one of these types of land pieces or whatever. So it could just be a little bit more challenging, and I really like that the elements coming into this game are making it so it's just a little bit crunchier, a little bit more thought you're putting into your decisions, and yeah, just really raising the game up a little bit more. So for that, I think it's really great. Do I think it's worth like $35? Maybe not. Depends if you love this game, then absolutely. If you're like, meh about this game, maybe not. I wish you could just buy the cards separate, the objective cards separate, because I would say that's probably the biggest appeal, unless you have a large player group, because you can now play, I believe it's up to 6 people with the expansion, and there is a accelerated mode that you can play as well. But I feel like this game is pretty fast to play. So anyways, I definitely enjoy it.